Australia is one of the world's top 5 destinations for international students, but the government's worried it's become too popular. Data released by the Australian Bureau of Statistics shows net immigration rose 60% to a record 548,800. The country's new migration strategy sees the government introduce sweeping new measures to reduce migration numbers, and international students will be most affected.
It is an essential system for the growth, for the prosperity, for the security of our country.
International students will now face tougher English language requirements, a new genuine student test, restrictions on changes the government labels as visa hopping, and a crackdown on illegitimate student visa applications. For Singaporean-based special needs teacher Annette Lee, the new Migration Act has brought disappointing news.
Yeah, so what happened was that I actually started to apply my visa last year in October for this year February intake. Yeah. And the whole process was just very tedious, I felt. And I only got my visa refusal in late January.
Yani studied for her bachelor's degree in Australia in 2011 before returning to Singapore. She wanted to upskill with a master's in learning intervention before her visa application was rejected.
And they actually was saying that it is due to Migration Act. Yeah, so I was like, my master course is only 1 year.
Stephen Licciardella is responsible for over 600 international students at St George and Sutherland Community College in Sydney. Many of his students study in areas of community service. He's concerned about how the new rules will affect the broader community.
When it comes to international students, we see that they fill in a lot of the jobs that normal Australians don't want to do. So I think by making broad statements like we're going to cut visas, you're not looking at the onward effect.
Social media groups reveal the desperation of international students as they navigate the new requirements, whilst also facing the prospect that their English isn't good enough. Annette Lee's first language is English, but that didn't stop her visa application failing.
Imagine if you are coming from a country that is not, English is not your first language. It's going to be very challenging for them.
Stephen Licciardella supports efforts to raise the level of English language skills, which he says should improve overall education standards in Australia's institutions. The Australian government needs to bring net migration under control, but by cutting international student visas, it risks damaging the economy and the country's educational reputation. Annette Lee, TRT World.